finally met its final movement. Final. So if it seems very dark in here, yes, it is. It is dark. In here. we have we have lost our visual. I'm trying to see if we're up on Facebook as well. I don't know if we are. I'm using a different computer for some reason. Like we're not on Facebook. Like we're not. It's like we're not going to go on Facebook for some reason tonight. Let me see something right here. Just give me a second. When I do different things, different systems, and we actually kind of trying to get on Facebook, you know. So, okay, roll, roll with the punches. Roll with the roll. It's playing tonight. We're going to be talking in reference of the suffering. So, we're going to be talking suffering servant. And that's the servant. Mark 10, verse Mark 10, chapter 10, verse 35 to 40. Okay. And we're not in. For some reason, we're not logged on Facebook. We're not there on Facebook. So you're only going to be able to see God and Jesus Christ tonight on either YouTube, sermon.net, if you officially go to sermon.net, or church online. So those are the only places that you'll be able to see, to see the suffering servant. For some reason, Facebook has not, it, it's- for some reason, didn't connect me to it. So without further ado, let me make sure that everything good. So the suffering servant, we're going to talk about Mark, and we're going to so I can try to do this. The Mark 10. So what we're going to is, have you ever asked someone to be their be their be their main support? Maybe wanting to be their right hand person, to share their success or success. Well, many people today, many people, many people today are seeking seeking greatness. Always trying to be first. Always, but not many are striving to be servants. A lot of people are trying to be first. A lot of them are not trying to be servants. And in our culture, in the culture that we live in, the, the value of recognition and position you hold, status you hold, it overshadows humbling. It overshadows the humbling. So as we look at it, Mark 10 and 35, James and John, however you want to put it, they are they're asking Jesus a question, and their question is they want to be, uh, they want a status. They want a status. They want to be on one on the left and one on the right. And they want this status. Now the other, the other 12, the other 10, like, who y'all think y'all are? Who y'all think y'all are? What you think you're doing? What you think you're, you trying to be better than us? But Jesus reverts, he redirects their their question because he's asking them something that a lot of times we don't does when we're seeking this thing called greatness, and we don't know what it means when you're asking yourself somebody else, do you want to be great? Say, yeah, I want to be great. You're not understanding the greatness is in this. So as we see this, Jesus, he redirects them from worldly ambition to the path of suffering service, the path of suffering service. So now Jesus is gonna, he's teaching them, and he teaches that true greatness in his kingdom is measured not by ruling over others, but by becoming a servant and slave of all. Because the Son of Man himself came to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So as you see, Jesus is letting us know, I didn't come here to rule over you. I didn't come to sit and rule and bobble over me and try to be something you're not for me, for my sake. I'm here for you to be what, to, to save you from what you're about to, the road you're about to go down. I'm going to be this intercessor for you because the roads that you're going to be going down, the roads that the, the Father doesn't want you to go down, but you're trying to go down. Now, in the Old Testament, as we look in the Testament, it echoes this. But before I get to the Old Testament, I want to talk about our culture a little bit more. And many people today are looking for greatness, uh, always trying to be first. So looking to be great. Well, I mean, it's not bad to be first because we got competition and we love the competition. But when you become that, when you make that status, when you're recognized for who you are, you're recognized as a great actor, a great athlete, a great news reporter, a great writer. We have a lot of people that are great, but then they are not humble. There's some people that do a lot of service work. They do a lot of service work, but you never hear about it. They're great. They're great on the top of the top layer. You see all the greatness out in front of us, but underneath, it's all the service work they're doing because they're not doing it for exposure. You hear people, oh, so and so gave $50,000 to this this program. This person gave $20,000 to this program. That's for recognition. But there are people who as we say, on the quiet tip, they give money quietly, unannounced, nobody knows, and then at the end of their life or their demise, when finally they have passed from this mortal earth, all of what they have lived for and all of they have done, we find out later on, oh, this person paid for this person's funeral when they died. Look, this person helped this person get through school. And he never knew this is where the money was coming from. This is where that servant comes in. But the suffering part is a lot of times it's us just helping, being there, not being recognized, not knowing people, not knowing who we are. But our society recognizes status, positions, and they don't care about how humble you are or the service that you do. They don't. Now, the places that echo this in this is in the Old Testament. We see it in Isaiah 53, in Isaiah 53, 10 and 12. We see that there. We also see it Matthew 20 and 28. Just as in what it says there, it says it's just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So once again, we see Jesus has come to serve us. He's come to serve. Now remember, before he went to the cross, what did he do? He washed his disciples' feet. He was making a symbolic gesture to them that this is what you must do. I am the greater thing. I am the greater of you, but I am. And remember, Peter, Peter, the one he said, Peter made that statement, the one he said that his church would be built on the rock. He just said, hey, you want to wash my feet? No, don't just wash my feet. Wash my hands, wash my head. In other words, he's saying, anoint me all over if you're going to do this. And also we look at Luke, in Luke 22, 26 and 27. It also reads here, but it is not this way with you. But it is not this way with you. But the one who is the greatest among you must become like the younger, and the leader like the servant. So the one who's the greatest, and the one who's the last. So that's what he's saying there. That's what they're saying. That's how they're putting that. That's how that is. For some reason, we're not online. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. Um, and also, like I said, please welcome again. Please share the live. Please, and also invite a friend church on the site. On that site, you just go to GJCM online church. GJCM church dot online. And if you want to using for there too. The reason I don't know what with I'm just looking at something with sermon.net and Facebook and from everything. I think maybe we have. Okay, so getting back to that, Luke, after he says that, and then in Luke, still in Luke, he says this: For who is greater, the one who reclines at the table, or the one who serves? It is not the one who reclines at the table, but I am among you as the one who serves. So, in other words, if we're at a big table, he's saying the greater of us would be the one who serves, sitting at the table. I'm being served. Oh, I'm right. See, Jesus is saying his kingdom is the greatest. One who wants to be first, who wants to be great. You're not. You're not. In his kingdom, and his kingdom is not recognized. It's not recognized. patience. It's recognized service, service, suffering, humility. It's hard to be who have a have a have a have a place in your life where you're very you very have a very humility way about you. It's very hard in that sense. It's almost like, wow, I've done this so many times and I what's going on. But we also look at this too, where it echoes too in the New Testament. Now we know in Isaiah that's the Old Testament, but now here we recognize it in the New Testament and Philippians chapter 2, verse 7 and 9. Um, but test himself, but he emptied himself, taking the form of a bond servant and being made in the likeness of man, being from and being found in the appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. For this reason, also, God highly exalted. So in Philippians also echoes Hebrews. And we're going to go right to Hebrews right now. Let's see Hebrews right here down here. Hebrews 2 and 9, it says this. It says, but but we do see him who was made for a little while lower than angels, and this is the name of Jesus, because of the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, so that by the grace of God he may he might taste death for everyone. So that's what he did. And this person that a lot of people in today's society uh, have debates over. Right now, if you go to TikTok, you're on TikTok, you'll have 50 different you go through the line. Everybody's talking about Jesus, whether Jesus is God, whether Jesus, who is he doesn't exist, he exists, he don't exist, his complexion, but nobody talks about his service. Nobody talks about his being served, him being a man, being, nobody really talks about him being half God. Nobody talks about him 100% man, 100% beauty. Nobody talks about that. They talk about all the other things that really don't matter. There's two guys who want to, there's two of his disciples. One want to be on the left, the other want to be on the right. Then you ask the other 10 looking at them like, yo, who do y'all think y'all are? Who y'all think y'all really think y'all deserve to sit there? But Jesus says, no, you can't do this. You don't know, you don't know the cup I'm going to drink. You don't know things that I must do. And a lot of times that answers question in that. So also, just to go back to what I was saying, with Jesus, you also can read in First Peter chapter 5, verse 2 and 3. Uh, the shepherd, the shepherd, shepherd, shepherd the flock of God among you, exercising, exercising oversight, not under, not under compulsion, but voluntarily according to the will of God, and not for solid grain, but with eagerness, not yet as luring it over those to you, to your charge, but proving to be example to the flock. So, in other words, what Peter is saying there is that you're a shepherd who's going to be showing, we're going to show you as we as pastors, preachers, bishops, or any other disciple there, we must show you, shepherds, what it is like. We should be the shining example for you because of what we teach, our lives. So it is just like if somebody asked me to do baseball touching the ministry. That's what I'm talking about. The plan, routine, studying, going over things, so whole players before. There are certain things I remember, certain calls from when I played football. Coach would call me that play. I just couldn't remember. I could never remember the name play. I could never remember what was the call, what he called the play. Remember, I was where 5 man, me and the tight end would go from the right side of the if we hear the word that would say shift, and we us two would move to the left side. Now, down. Now he would snap, and I would snap. We're coming fully back this way. Now, don't ask me what the play is, but you remember, remember the play was done because of what I did. People love the markings of scripture and understand scriptures. Uh, Psalms 23. In Psalms 23 and Bible, they open Psalms 23. But once again, when you're seeking greatness, as Jesus is saying, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. They're asking for something. They don't even know what they're getting ready to go through. They probably would have been the two on the left and two on the right. That's why he said that. You know what you're you know what you're saying, and then at the end of the day, it's not for me to do. It's not for me to do it. Seeking glory for yourself. When you seek glory for yourself, when you seek this glory for yourself, as James and John um, approach Jesus with the specific ambition request. And I'm going to ask you, do you see people today who are doing the same thing, James and John, seeking positions of visibility, recognition, and influence? Now, I do, like I said, I do public access. I'm always behind the scenes. A friend of mine, Gucci, he's on camera. He's on, he's in front of the camera. But I'm in the front, I'm in the box, I'm in the control. Nobody sees me. Nobody sees what I do. Anything they will see at any show, my name back up. They'll see my name is director, cameraman. They see my name as producer. They see my name as cameraman. Now, there's nothing. I'm not getting recognition, or Gucci gets the recognition for the show because it's his show. I don't get the recognition for the show. I don't get the recognition for when the show. If the show is bad, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get you put out a bad show. Same with Dr. When I do Dr. Lewis, Dr. His name goes up Lewis. He's in front. His camera's in front. People know. They see my name. Now, during his show, he'll always mention me. But I don't really do that. He does it. The, the servitude that I've been there for him for so long, he feels that the recognition that he gives me for the years that I did his video and his, his audio, his audio, his camera, his film, within his organization. That what's my role? I asked him, what's my role? He asked me what's my role. Then when he stepped over, over in his way, he says, well, you're productive. You're productive. So, okay, you production. You good. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not looking for greatness. I'm just looking to see serve you. It's my role. Serve you. So that's what we must do. We can find greatness. Greatness will come to you because you're humble. You're humble as we do. Your humble ability, your leadership and serving, coaching for 40 for both of them, over almost 40 something years, 20 something years. Most of my years with youth football. 17 of my years with semi-pro football. But most of my years with youth football. And still to this day, me there, a person posting. The leadership is there. I keep them informed. They call me and need. Okay, let me see how I can get this done. Kid needed to get somewhere one day. Okay, I'll get you there. One day. Get you. Some people say, well, that's your own job. That's your job. Yeah. Sometimes coaches say, well, I think I'm not, you know, so persons will have to find their own way. But we have to be able to serve each other in our own way, in our own, in our own visions, as I read. So in First Peter uh, 5:13, as I read, and also in Colossians 3:10, faithful, faithful service and humility. And leaders should always have humility about themselves, a humbleness. We have presidents in our midst, or mostly all our presidents have always been kind of humble. What we see. We could talk about Obama. We could talk about Senator, former Senator King. But our president now, you look at him, you say he's a humble person, and you say he has humility in him. Even though he doesn't show his humility, he doesn't show his faithfulness in his service. Pray for him. But it tells us to pray for our leaders as long as they're going in the direction of God. But this is something that we have. Um, what happens when we see greatness or fame? We can become slaves to that pursuit. We must examine our motives. We must examine our motives. Are we seeking for ourselves or for Christ's glory? So when we're doing this this servitude and this seeking, are we doing this for our own self glory, or are we doing this for Christ? We must look at our motives. Why are we doing it? Some people may ask me, why do you do football? Why do you play football? Love it. I enjoy it. I love the kids. enjoy it. Um, so what we're looking at in Mark 10 and 35 and 45, um, true greatness in God's kingdom is measured by service, not status. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know, I heard people say, I'm the chief apostle. I happen to really look up that a lot of times when I hear these phrases that people come out with, I'm the chief this, the chief of that, chief of this. And I look to see if it is biblically sound, because I want to know, like, but for me, it's like, you know, um, playing football, 7 men on the line. You got to have 7 men on the line. You have an extra man on the line. But one man, I count. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh, you're leaving formation. No, he's off the line. So, but he knows he's still on the line. And he's got to be off. So I got no things is in game form. Same thing when you're doing your ministry. You got to know that certain things it's not a title. It's a title, but that title that's not certain things is a biblical. He just put that title for greatness. So when he walks in, we got to announce him as chief apostle. Things like that. He's got to be that. Got to be that. Or you just know, just Coach Mike. I mean, the Coach Mike. Oh, yeah, Coach Mike's a pastor, yeah. But you didn't call him pastor. He's Coach Mike. Coach Mike knows. Hey, Coach, you do a funeral for him. Yeah, yeah. Okay, Coach, I knew you would. You knew I could. And that's humble. But, he was there. That's it. I could have said no, but he said, hey, he's out of town. He's in there. Hey, step up. I'll step in and perform for you when we want. There's no thing, no big thing. Um, so as we see uh, this this thing, Jesus directly overturns worldly ambitions. However, wishes to become great among you shall be your servant. Okay. So what he's saying here, whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant. So in other words, whoever is going to be seeking to be the great one, there will be the apostle. So, and that's in Mark chapter, that's in Mark 10, and that's in verse 43. That's where you see that phrase as a believer should ask not, how can I be seen? So in other words, we as believers, we shouldn't be asking, how can I be seen? What can I do to be seen? I want people to see me. I want people to know more about me. I mean, yeah, but that comes online. People are seeing him, but you're not seeing me for me to be great. I don't care if I only have one person online, I don't care. Still gonna be here. I don't care if it's 2 people online, still gonna be here. We're gonna do this every day. Care if there's no people on it. I don't care if there's 1,000 people. Uh, if there's 1,000 people out there watching, it doesn't matter to me. What matters is that the words that they resonate with them, that hear me speak, and they hear what speak, and they read their Bible, and they go to the scriptures, and they read those chapters, and then they get to understand that, oh, that's what he's talking about. So they go to Isaiah 53, and they read the chapter, and they come to that verse where it talks about the suffering servant, and they go and read the other chapter, and those who are suffering fervent. See, when you seeking greatness, you're seeking yourself, right? Yourself, yourself, resonate yourself. You're not the Lord. So I do I've been put in put in this position. Um, God, still trying to figure this out, but I walked into this walk off of this road into this road and just kept on going, and here I am sitting, and it's not. If I have 1,000 views, praises, blessings, but people, but if people hear me, heard me, hear the pastor, hopefully the pastor says something that connects with them. Don't stay in the church to be impressed by what I have said, whether their pastor knows it or not. Never. That's the whole thing. It only matters if if things went differently. So, and that's what he says. Christ is saying. This echoes the pattern of Christ, who did not come to be served, but to serve. And that also we see that in Mark 10:45. Following Jesus includes sharing in his suffering before sharing in his glory. So Jesus was nailed to the cross. He was spat on, slapped, mocked. A lot of people don't realize Christians, Christians, people who say that who call themselves Christians or call themselves followers of Christ or call themselves disciples, they are marked. They are mocked. They're made fun of. They are talked about. Because people run into people who think these people are Christians. But there's a lot to really a real Christian who's a real Christian, Christian who really, you know, following the footsteps or following those steps, right? Those who just say they are Christians. Um, ones who say they are is a little bit different than to say who don't say it, but see it. As we hear people say the fruit of the spirit, you'll know them by their fruit, but their, their fruit shows you. You don't say I'm Christian, I'm a follower of Christ, but I'm a disciple of Christ. You see they present what you see in who they say they are. Um, when Jesus asked, "Are you able to drink the cup that I drank, or to be baptized with the baptism with which I'm baptized?" And when you double in back to Mark 10:38, he points to suffering as part of discipleship. The path to glory runs through the cross, not around, not around it. So your path to glory, if you're following Christ, would be through that cross. You would have to die each and every day, sacrificing yourself, being denying. Oh, excuse me. Remind yourself of things. Remind yourself of things. When you're not knowing the cup, that you drink, when you're not knowing what it what it is you're getting ready to partake in, that's going to hurt you. Excuse me. The cup and the baptism symbolizes the cup and the baptism is a symbol of suffering, sacrifice, and identification with Christ. As we said in Isaiah 53, Jesus is is meaning the cross, the cup, the cup he's talking about is the cross. They would have had to be put on the cross, so to speak. So that's why he told the rich young man, okay, you're rich, you got all you need, you got all your worldly possessions, throw them to the side. Come follow me. Drop everything and pick up your cross. Pick up the burdens that you must. Carry the burdens of other people. Carry the things. You ever sat in front of somebody, not a friend, a stranger, sat in front of them to tell you about what just happened. Yeah, can you carry that burden? You know, suffering and serving. You're going to be persecuted. You're going to be pushed. You're going to be pushed to the brim. This is also compared in Romans. What we just mentioned uh, about this glory, this runs through the cross. This is in Romans 8 and 17, and also in Philippians 3:10 and 11. Ambition must be surrendered to God, timing and appointment. Meaning, greatness is going to come from this time. So if I'm the walk up here, and all of a sudden, Christ ministry starts to be visual, not just visual, going to be in person, not just video, on streaming, to uh, in person. This in person, and then time is big and big. So, what is not so? Here's the news. And this is this. So it's all this time. It's not my ambition to be this. He is pushing. He is making it that way. Jesus says to sit on my right hand, to sit on my right or on my left. This is not mine to give, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared. Meaning, when God decided who was going to be on, who was going to be on his left, and it is prepared for just those specific people. He is not going to just pick any person who's going to sit on his left. It's just like if I decide to bring up another pastor, another, it is his determination who I pick. These are the two that's going to sit on your right. Who's going to help you move this into the acts. And then if you do that, I am now being the greater of them. I fall back, but I'm the greater. Serve, serve him. Jesus too. I serve him to make sure everything is good for them. They're exposed. I see helping me with a project. She's helping me with a project. We're doing that back and seeing something I'm seeing something. We could do this. We could do this. How can we do this? Just stumbling around. And he's helping me. Well, no, she says, no, this is about God, Jesus Christ. God, Jesus Christ ministry. It's going to said for him to do to bring this together. We should go from there. So that's what we're doing. We're making it happen here. So this is what it is, and she is the servant to me. She's my overseer. She oversees other nations, but she's the servant to me. She does. And she says, well, I won't do nothing until you approve it. But she said, she could just go ahead and I'm going to do it anyway. To me, okay. She is the greater of me, but she is serving me so I can glorify the Father. Um, so this is what Jesus has said. It's prepared in Mark 10 and 40. So God assigned honor according to his sovereignty purpose, not human grasping, not human grasping. So he assigns these things to us, not according to us grabbing where we going to do. Okay, you're a holy old minister. Well, ministering for 5 years. Now it's time for me to been pastor for 2 years. Okay, let me move up to be senior pastor. Then a senior pastor for let me move up to apostle. Then an apostle, let me move up to lead apostle. Okay, okay, I've been lead apostle. Let me move up to bishop. Okay, let me move up to this other. Like you're trying to move up the ladder. But all you're really moving up the ladder. Your ambition is not it's not his plan. It's not his thing. That's me. Stuff up there. That's the difference. Definitely serving. Yeah, so over here sometimes there's people you even on here. Facebook is down, so I don't see nobody. I don't know nobody on Facebook. Everybody's wondering where is he at? He probably can't see him. The system is not. It's not up. The chat list is for some reason not working on it. And then we're looking at we're looking at sign online, church online, and what's going on there. We're there. People. There's a few people there. I got a few people here. Suffering too because there's nobody there. It's not always suffering. Is not always a physical thing. It can be a spiritual thing. It can be see it's hard to see 4 or 5 people. It's hard. But then, go back 2, 3 days later. I look, oh man, that's 75 viewers. Okay, straight. I hope I pray a small percentage, 12% of them people start going back to church, or 12% of them start for for Christ. That's the thing you want to have. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to do. Um, so he doesn't do it for that. Faith learn to trust. Faith learns to trust God with place, recognition, and reward. Leadership in church must get determination and imitate Christ's humility. So what is he saying here? What is it saying here? Faith learns to trust God with place. So our faith, my faith, trust God where I'm at. Right? I trust him right where I'm at. I know how I'm at. My recognition is here and the reward, my leadership of this ministry, this ministry, people that I see, people that the church that I go to, and I preach to them maybe fifth Sunday, sometimes maybe a fourth Sunday here. Leadership when I'm not in church, but I'm on the football field, my leadership with young men, making them keep their head up, whether they win the game or they lose, letting them know to be humble when you win. I had my young men, we would win a game and they be jumping for you. I said, no, stop. And some people will wonder, stop it, they just want to game. No. You ain't finished. You ain't finished the job. You ain't finished. We got 5, 6, we got 4 more games to go. We're not finished yet. And it's the same thing with God. We can't celebrate now. We got to do our due diligence because God will celebrate later when those people seeking Him to glorify Him. And then we can sit back. We can take a deep breath and celebrate. Um, Jesus contrasts Gentile rulers who lord it over them, who lord it over them. So what he's doing, he's comparing Gentile leaders who rule over their people. They rule over their people. They rule over them. Right? They rule over them people. Uh, with kingdom leadership marked by sovereignty, and that's in Mark 10:42 and 44. Any Christian influence, whether in the house, whether in the home, church, or workplace, should be exercised for other good, for others' good, not for self exaltation. And that's what you see Philippians 2 and 38. So when you're doing things, you're not doing it for your own self preservation or your own self recognition. Um, recognition. You're doing it because you want God. You want God to be glorified. It's just like we say, may we decrease so he increases. So that's the thing you want. That's what he's saying there. My little fan just went out on me. And right now everything's going out on me. Everything's going out on me today. It's for me to cook a little bit in here. Um, okay. So Jesus defines his mission in terms of sacrifice for others. The Son of Man came to give his life for a ransom for many. Mark 10 and 45. At the center of faith is subsidiarity rescue. Christ gave himself to free sinners from sin bondage. Uh, this should shape worship, gratitude, and daily obedience. And you compare this with Isaiah 53, 10 and 12, and also 1 Timothy 2, 5 and 6. So now, when you go there, Jesus done this for us. He did this for us. Also, remember when we talked about the baptism? Then allowing yourself, what we were talking about when he talked about this baptism. Also, then allowing yourself to be baptized in what you were seeking. True greatness is not about position, but about embracing God's will, even when it leads through suffering and service. So even when you're dealing with everything that must be, you're suffering through it, and you're you just don't know what to do anymore. You're like, yo, I'm I'm not having such a great time here, and that's we have our ups, we have our downs, and that's the way it is. When asking to be beside someone in greatness, know what it entails. What it entails. Are you ready to be baptized into suffering to serve rather than to be served? So are you, when you ask for to be in this position, make sure you know that if you're going to be in that position, you know what it is entailing for you to do. When we serve others, we become true leaders. When we seek to be great for our own sake, we become enslaved to that greatness. All right, we become slaves to that and to that in greatness. Uh, these are a couple of questions. I'm gonna kind of like have a discussion. Kind of couple of questions here. What we can basically talk about is, what do James and John ask Jesus for in verse 35 and 37, and what does their request reveal about what they thought the kingdom would be like? Well, let's think about it. Why do you think? Why do you think they specifically wanted place at Jesus' right and left in his glory? What sign in the passage suggests they are thinking in terms of status rather than service? So when you read, what makes you think they're thinking that it's a status that they're looking for? It's not what they think it is. It's not something they're not. Also, how does Jesus respond to their requests in verse 38 and 40? And what does he mean by the cup and the baptism? We just spoke of that. The cup was the cross. The baptism was the suffering. All the things that you're going to take within that. So we see all that. And these were some questions I just had to throw out there. Uh, Suffering and glory for Jesus followers. How might the cup and baptism language prepare believers for hardship rather than comfort? So that cross and that baptism is what we're going to have, or what we're going to be dealing with. So let me get on right here. How does Jesus explain? How does Jesus example and 45 challenges your personal understanding of leadership or influence? So that's a question I would like for y'all to answer. If you ever when you hear this, how does this um, get to um, change things for you? Mm. Sorry, I'm just looking at something right now. I don't see something right there. Yeah, that's going like that. All right. Mm. So let me go with this one. Okay. The greatness in God's kingdom is marked by humility, sacrifice, and service, not by seeking status or recognition. Every believer is called to serve. Every believer is called to servant leadership, follows Jesus, empowered by his spirit. The pursuit of leadership is good when rooted in the willingness to serve and suffer for others, not in pursuit of personal glory. So your personal glory is not doesn't mean anything if you're not going to be following as the suffering servant did. And reflections. So we're going to do with reflections. When you find yourself desiring recognition or position, remember James and John. Ask yourself, am I willing to drink the cup? Am I willing to serve? Then, when it means sacrifice, let's become a community marked by servants, leadership, following. Okay? So let us be that. Let us be of that. Let us be that person that marks that. I hope you had each and every one of you had a good evening, a great evening. I know I'm not going to last as long as I normally do. I don't think so because we are not online, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me a minute. I want to see something here. Yeah, for some reason, we did not come online on Facebook. I don't know what happened, but you can always see me on Roku. So, just so you know, you can always see me on Roku. You can, you can, you can see me on Roku. Go on Roku. You just go to your Roku channel, hit sermon.net. Go to sermon.net, and you go to your search station, you look for sermon.net, you see sermon.net, you click on sermon.net, then you go into your search thing and you put in God in Jesus Christ Ministry. The back logo that you see behind me will pop up. That logo will pop up, and once that logo pops up, you go in there and you should be able to see all of God in Jesus Christ Ministries. Also, iHub is on there. You should be able to see any of the iHub, any of the services that we've done. I haven't put them up yet. A lot of them I haven't put up. YouTube, all of them are on YouTube. You can go on YouTube as well and see the sermon in its full totalities. Or you can go to the podcast for God in Jesus Christ Ministries and hear and see all of our, well, not see, hear all of the past podcasts and past sermons. We're going to be putting up some more, and as the week, I'm going to be putting up some more as the week goes as the week goes by. Oh, when I say we, also Apostle Ella, Apostle Mark, some of their stuff also has to go on there because I got to take it off of Facebook and put it into the system. So that's why I say we. They will be up there. Their information will be there. So everybody that's a part of the VLF ministries will be on there. Radio stations, the 24-hour music that is on there, and you will be hearing it. And you will be hearing some of them on there as well. So without further ado, we're going to get ready to close on down. I'm going to close down, and I will see you on Saturday at our regular scheduled time, Saturday at 7:30, our regular scheduled time. This past Saturday, I got jammed up. I got kind of locked in a position where I couldn't. I wasn't going to be back in time. I knew I wasn't going to be back in time. And sure enough, I was, but I was like, I would have been 10 minutes late. And I said no, and I was out of it. So I'm going to say, so tonight we're going to close on down, and I want to thank you for all joining me and coming in and enjoying this. I want to thank you for you all coming here. So that's what I want. So as my response for this is, I'm going to pray us out, and then I'm going to give you a response that I would love to hear back from you. Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, forgive us when we seek glory, positions, and recognition instead of the way of the cross. You are the Son of Man who came not to be served, but to serve and give your life as a ransom for many. Teach us to drink the cup of humility and costly obedience with you, trusting the Father, purpose, and timing. Shape our hearts to rejoice in serving others, even when no one notion, so that our lives reflect your kingdom and not the world's power. Amen. So what I would like to do is this week, sometimes inconvenience, unrecognized, or behind the scenes, and do not intentionally as an act of following Christ, servant heart. So what I'm really going to ask you is pray daily for your heart check on ambition. So what I really want you to do is pray. That's what I'm asking you to do, is pray and check on the ambitions. Ask the Lord to reveal where you are seeking status, control, or approval, and confess it before Him. Encourage and honor someone. So what I want to do is in your home or your workplace, by expressing gratitude and elevating their contribution instead of competing for attention. So in your workplace, instead of competing for attention, you try to elevate other people in your workplace. I know it's kind of hard, but sometimes you give where something may, sometimes you say, well, hey, look, it was, I didn't do all the work. So did something too. That's what we're talking about here. Okay. See you Saturday, 7:30. We're going to be in the book of Hebrews, chapter 7, verse 1 through 10. We're gonna go back and cover that because we didn't cover it this week. And then the following week, we're going to do a summary of everything, and then we're going to week 21. When we do week 21, we'll do the summary for the next. I think it's the other part of chapter from 11 to, I don't know what the 11 to whatever the verse is, chapter 7, verse 11 to, I think, 15 or 18. And we're going to go there. But until then, may God bless each and every one of you. I thank you for coming in. I thank you for watching. Sorry about Facebook. We'll find out what happened. I think the system did go down for a minute, and I should have revamped everything. We probably would have been connected. But until then, may God bless you.